Hello guys, I am Camille and I make videos about all things related to documenting life. So it's been a minute since I've been on my YouTube channel, but I miss it terribly. And so I just wanted to get kind of back in the groove, especially because we're coming up on the new year. And so of course I had to get my next year's round of journaling supplies. And so I just wanted to show you a quick haul of everything that I got for my next year's setup. So I am a huge fan of Hobonichi. I have been using them for years and years. I did kind of struggle with knowing exactly how much stuff to get this year though, because I have gotten into something called building your second brain and like having your second brain. So that is a whole separate video, probably multiple videos, honestly, but I have been doing so much digital journaling, and that has been really fulfilling. So it was actually kind of hard to choose what I wanted to use and like physical journal wise, and also like what for. But I'll kind of get into that a tiny bit in this video, but mostly in other videos. So the store that I went to is called Oblation Papers and Press. I apologize if I butchered that name, but it is in Portland, Oregon, in case anyone is interested. Hobonichi is really, at least in my area, really hard to come by in person, so I actually drive 2 hours to go get it, but it is worth it versus waiting the couple of weeks that it would take for it to ship from Japan. So it is all good. So first thing you're seeing on this stack here is the cover for my Hobonichi Techo. It is just, as it implies, a plastic layer for the cover that I bought this year, which I don't actually normally use the classic Techo. However, I was obsessed with this cover, which I'll reveal in a second. I don't know why, but I just like, every time I was walking around that store, I spent like probably a solid hour there. I kept coming back to this and I'm like, I never use this size. Why am I so obsessed with this? And it's like, I just loved the look of it. So I just couldn't get over it. So I'm like, okay, I have to figure out something to do with this because I can't leave the shop without this. So this is what we're looking at. I honestly can't really explain to you why I was so obsessed with it, but it's just like, well, I love the colors. I love the flowers. I love the like mix of like floral and geometric. I don't even know. For some reason, it just spoke to me. So I was like, I can't walk away without this. So I didn't actually get a Techo. I got something else to go in it that is an A6 size, because this is an A6 size cover, and so you should hypothetically be able to use it on any A6 size journal. So that's what I'm going to do with that. So I'm just going to put it on an A6 size journal. Next, we have the Hobonichi Cousin. So I got the classic Hobonichi Cousin in Japanese. It's so funny walking around that store because anytime you grab the Japanese one, the people that work at that store are like, are you sure that's the one you want? You know that's not the English one, right? And I'm like, yes, I know. It's good. We're good. This is the one I want. The reason that I like getting the Japanese one, besides it just feeling classic and it feeling like traditional to the brand, which I like, it's also because everything that like makes the English one different is stuff that I just don't care about, and it's stuff that I usually end up covering up anyways. So in the English one, like down at the bottom of the journal, so like right here, there's quotes from, I don't know if they're just like famous people or something, but there's quotes on every single page. And I always cover that up because I always, well, I shouldn't say always, but I mostly decorate my pages. And so I use like a lot of washi tape and stickers and stuff. So usually you're only seeing like parts of the words anyways, and you don't see enough to actually be able to read it. So it's just something that doesn't matter to me. If anything, I feel better having it be the Japanese, because then I don't even know what I'm covering up and I'm not distracted by it. And I'm not reading like partial quotes and wondering what the rest of it says because I covered it up with stuff. So that's the main reason why I get the Japanese one. So I can open this up in a second and kind of show you guys, for those of you who don't know what a Hobonichi Cousin is, but I have been using it for the last couple of years. I have one right next to me in my little journaling box that I'm currently in the middle of, but I had to make sure I got my one for next year. So this is the cover for the Cousin. I had a really hard time picking out a cover because the covers that I liked the most were actually just like stupid expensive. which granted I probably could have found alternatives that were similar to those that were cheaper online, but I was being a little bit impatient. And also, I just kind of enjoy sticking to the brand, which is like not something that really matters. Like, get what you get, you know, get like whatever you want and whatever makes you happy. But for me personally, I just like love the whole feel and atmosphere of the brand, and I like to kind of stick to that. When it comes to my cousin, I'm not nearly as strict about that. Actually, I'm not strict about that when it comes to my weeks, which I'll show you in a second. So, this is the cover that I chose for this coming year. It has a very evening, peaceful, like foresty, cutesy vibe, and I'm all about it. At first I was a little bit nervous because it kind of has like a calm, sleepy feel to it, and I was like, my brain, being the quirky brain that it is, was like, I don't want to be sleepy when I'm journaling. But then I was just like, you know what, I actually do really like that calm atmosphere. I love the cute little animal accents. I love the moon. Like, there's so many things about this that I really like, and I'm also a big person of like blue. I absolutely love blue, and tons of the stuff that I use and own is usually blue. So all in all, I was like, this is still going to be a great fit. I think it's nice and quirky, and it's beautiful. So I'm still very happy with it. It does definitely have that evening night vibe, but I mostly journal when I get home from work anyways, so it actually kind of fits the mood of what I'm doing anyhow. And then this guy, he is just a writing, pad isn't the right word, a writing board. So it's just like plastic, and you stick it under the page that you're using, and it gives you a flat surface to write on. And I just thought, for whatever reason in my brain, these like went together, or they look good together. They're not actually the same art style, but I just like forest animals, and then this has kind of like an evening dinner party vibe. I don't know, I'm just happy with it. So that is my setup for my cousin, and then this guy is my Hobonichi Weeks Mega. So I had a very different, well, not that different, I had a different setup this year I should say, than this coming year, and so I will go into that a bit. But I decided to narrow down the amount of journals I'm using, which granted, I just showed you 3, so for some people that probably doesn't seem very narrow, but for me, that's actually not that much. I write a ton. I write probably what amounts to a couple of hours a day, and that's most days. Granted, there are some days where I'm too busy to be able to fit that in, but it is extremely rare that I do not write for a good minute, a good section, I should say, of my evening. It's just a fundamental part of my self-care. So having a lot of different outlets for that and different ways of organizing that is just something that's super healthy and helpful for me. But my second brain has kind of taken the reins on that and has really changed how I approach that in a way that I never expected until I read that book. The book is called that, The Second Brain by Tiago Forte, or Building Your Second Brain, excuse me. So if anyone's interested in looking into that, I would definitely look him up. He has plenty of YouTube videos, interviews, explanations of the book, all that kind of stuff. And then the book itself is still worth the read, even if you like do the whole YouTube University thing. So all of that to say, this is the short haul and kind of the prequel to going into all that has changed with my journaling setup, what my plans are for the future, and just how I am using writing as a fundamental part of self growth, you know, healing, all that kind of stuff, just self-care in general, and just kind of moving forward in life. So thank you so much for watching. If you have any questions, feel free to ask. I made sure to keep stuff in the packaging just because this is a very quick touch, and I also wanted you guys to be able to see kind of the price range of the brand, because it is a little bit on the pricey side, so just being transparent about that. But in my mind, it's like, it's something that you're using a minimum of a year. Like, all of these covers and stuff, you can use these, you know, for 10 years, right? Like, you do not need, you can just continuously unload and reload these. So these are forever. But even these are keepsakes, right? Like this is your brain, your life. Like documenting life is so fundamentally important in my mind that it is worth every penny. And of all the things that we spend money on, it should be stuff that we are showing like honor and appreciation to our own life, in my opinion. So that's why I just kind of wanted to keep things in the packaging so that you could get a feel for what you'd be looking at if you were at all interested in getting your own. And then I will make separate videos setting this guy up and this little one up. Honestly, I could probably fit those into one video, so I probably will do that. I have another short haul of a Japanese like bookstore that I went to where I got a couple more things. And then I will hopefully, cross my fingers, make time to make videos going over what did and did not work about last year's setup and what I'm going to try to be doing moving forward in this year's setup. So thank you so much for watching. Lastly, there's a little washi tape that I got. And we'll see you in the next video. Take care.